Hi there, it's pretty miserable outside, so I'm at home today and I thought I would show you my e-bike conversion. I'm going to go through it step by step. So look at the motor, the controller, how I've wired it up and the battery. I've already done a school run on it this morning, so it got pretty wet, but the battery still kept running and so did the motor, even though it was absolutely chucking it down. And that's why it's a bit dirty. I'm just going to show you this battery and how I mounted that on first. So I've taken the battery off, and the first thing I had to do was mount the battery on upside down. This is because the mounts here were too high up or low down, whichever way around that is, but I couldn't fit it in the orientation that it was supposed to be in, so I put it in upside down. That doesn't seem to be a problem as well. I found a little hole up here and it wasn't very secure at the top, so I drilled a hole into the frame and then put a self-tapping screw through there to hold it on in 3 places. So self-tapper up here and then the 2 bottle cage holder bolts there. And like I said, the battery went in upside down, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. The battery is locked in from this hole here, and then as you turn the key, this bit comes up and locks it in place, so it's been really sturdy. I thought if it did start to slip over time, then maybe I'd put some cable ties around it. So this battery is charged up through here. That slides away, and then you've got this 3-pin connector which slots in there. And then when the battery is charging up, I need to make sure the power is turned on at the socket, obviously, and that the power is turned on here as well. So power on the socket, turn the battery power on as well, and then that should charge up. And here's the front cover of the manual for the battery. When I first saw that word at the top, I was a bit, what does that say? But as you go through, at the very back there is an English translation. I'll put the battery back on the bike, and I'll put a quick screenshot up of the one that I bought on eBay. So next off, I'm going to move to putting the motor in. Now, you might have seen on other videos that to get the motor in, I had to use my like a Dremel tool just to shave off a little bit inside here on both sides, so that the wheel slotted in, because it wouldn't go in otherwise. But I only had to shave off just ever such a small amount just to get it to slot in nicely. And then the other problem, I think the biggest headache, has been putting the brake on. So on this one, I've put a massive rotor on there. That's a 203mm rotor, and I've had to get an adapter to put that on as well. And I wanted to keep the hydraulic brake rather than use a cable brake, because hydraulic brakes are much stronger, and as well it looks a lot better at the top having both the same brake handles. So as I was saying, the tolerances around here are so small, everything seems to just fit. I've got a small space between the motor hub there, if you can see, and the brake caliper. As well, when I was putting the washers on, I put both this anti-rotation lock washer and the other washer on this side to give me the space to actually get the disc in, otherwise it rubbed against the fork, and to get the caliper in as well. The tolerances are so small, but it all works. Also, to get this to fit on, I had to put some spacers down here as well. Here's the front cover for the motor manual. It says e-bike DIY user manual, and then there's a picture of a guy dressed in a soldier's uniform carrying a gun on a cool e-bike. I'd imagine that's what that is. And then it says, ready to DIY your fancy e-bike, let's go. moving on from the motor, then so we've got the one cable, that's for the brake, that comes up this side, cable tied in, and then I've cable tied the motor wire to the fork here, and then everything goes into this at the top. Now, the reason I've picked a bag to go at the top is because all my stuff was at the front, like the batteries at the front, the controllers at the front, and the motors at the front. I didn't need to have a bag at the back. I thought it was just going to have loads of messy wires going there to the back of the bike for no reason, so everything can sit up at the front. Then I think that made everything look a little bit neater. And then in there is the controller box and all the wires, they just fit in. The other interesting thing is these two blue wires here. When you connect those two together, that reduces the motor from 500 watts to 250 watts simply by connecting these two together. So connecting these two wires together reduces the front motor to 250 watts. Now, when I had it at 250 watts, when I connected them together and went for a ride, I did about 10 miles an hour top speed, but then having the two wires unconnected, so I've got the full 500 watt of the motor, I was able to do 26 miles an hour. That's been my top speed so far. Also to note that not all the wires have to be connected. All I've got connected are the controller, and then the motor and the battery. So the brakes aren't connected, and the pedal assist sensor isn't connected either down there. And like I've done for the battery, I'll put a screenshot of the motor that I bought from eBay in this video too. And we've got the controller there, and if you just turn it on there, down there, and turn that on, you'll see we've got 3 lights to show that the battery's fully charged. I've rode it around quite a lot, and it's only seemed to have dropped down to the halfway mark, but then I've charged it back up again because I've heard that it's best to keep them topped up rather than all the way down and then back up. So just as it was touching this halfway mark, then I charged it back up again. So there we have it. I can take the kids to school. Usually have my youngest on the back, and then my daughter sits on the crossbar like that. We only go very slowly when we're doing that, and then they enjoy giving it a little boost for me when we need to get up some of the hills. It's been really good so far. I'd say it's definitely taken me longer than 1 hour to put it all together, definitely. Over the space of a couple of days, you know, a couple of hours a day on each little bit to get it going. I just took my time with it, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun to ride around so far. And like I said, I think putting on that big rotor at the front's been nice. It makes me feel confident that I'll be able to stop, especially with the extra weight of the motor and the battery on there. You really do need that stopping power as well. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found any of those little hints and tips useful. If you've got any questions, please just leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them best as I can from what I've done with this bike. Cheers now, bye.